Welcome back to PST channel. Today, we're going to present another legend of Final Fantasy VI. This used to be the epitome of the best RPG game in the SNES era. Let's find out why. The War of Magi made the world disrupted and power of magic was lost. For 1,000 years, technology has been used in place of magic and changed the world to be barren land. Still, King of Gestahlian Empire wants to revive that dread power of magic to conquer the world. The troop of Magitek armored soldiers invade town of Narsh for retrieving the Esper who has been frozen there after the War of Magi. The woman whom they call Witch, wearing slave crown made for enslaving her to take advantage of her magic power. The troop finds frozen Esper, but it emits an eerie light and makes woman unconscious. The woman got helped by Arvis. He took off her slave crown, released her from controllers. But she gets amnesia, recalls only her name, Terra. Soldiers of Narsh come to arrest Terra. Arvis helps her escape. Terra is surrounded by soldiers and falls onto the lower ground. It makes her remember the past. She is a magic user, so Kefka controlled her with Salve Crown. She killed many soldiers and helped Gestahlian, King of Empire, conquer the land. Arvis meets Locke, a treasure hunter. They are an Empire resistance group called Returners. Arvis wants Locke to help Terra get out of Narsh and go to Figaro. Because the townspeople blame her as Empire's supporter, Locke and Terra get helped by Mogles to break out the soldiers group and get out of the cave. Locke promises to keep Terra safe. Going to Figaro Castle, Locke tells King of Figaro about Terra. His name is Edgar, Imperial ally and champion of the technology revolution. He falls for Terra's beauty at first sight. Terra talks to High Priestess and learns about Edgar's twin brother. His name is Sabin. He traded throne for his freedom and left castle. Kefka, the court mage, comes to meet King Edgar. His habit makes him be on bad terms with Edgar, and he ignores the alliance between both countries. He comes to bring Terra back to Empire by accusing her of stealing instead of telling the truth. Edgar doesn't allow him to take Terra back easily. Locke takes Terra to her room. He tells her that Edgar is collaborating with Returners to resist Empire quietly, and Locke is the middleman. Figaro Castle is burnt by Kefka's order. Kefka wants Terra back, but Edgar refuses. Edgar, Locke, and Terra jump on Chocobo and get out of castle. Then the castle is in dive mode. It sinks into the desert and leaves Kefka on the ground. Kefka let the soldiers follow them. Locke and Edgar are surprised that Terra can use magic during the battle. Edgar asks Terra to meet with Returners because her magic may be a key to win the war. He wants her to know Banin. Banin can help her to understand her magic power. During the journey, the Returners gets attacked by Vargas. Sabin appears to stop Vargas. Sabin thought that Vargas killed Duncan, Vargas's father, because he thinks Duncan wanted to make Sabin his successor. But Sabin says it was misunderstanding. Vargas refuses to listen and challenges Sabin. Sabin talks to Edgar about Returners' hideout. Edgar wants to strike back the Empire, so Sabin joins the Returners. Going to Returners' hideout, the Returners meets Banin. He says Terra's magic power is great. It reacts with Espers, and Terra had ever used her power to wipe out soldiers. Terra refuses to remember the past because of her guilt, but Banin asks her to face it and be the hope of this world. Locke tells Terra that Empire took someone important from him, and many people meets the same fate as him because of Empire. It's the reason why he joined Returners. He consoles Terra when she says that she is empty. The Returners has a meeting. Banin says Gestahlian Empire is using its Magitek power to wage war. Empire has been gathering scholars to study Espers for using power of Espers as machine and humans' energy. They are the source of Magitek's power, like in the War of Magi. Empire assaulted Narsh because of Esper as well. Banin wants to chat with Espers through Terra's power. Maybe it's the only hope to fight against Magitek. Terra accepts to help. Then Retuner's hideout is invaded by Empire. Locke volunteers to sneak into South Figaro to slow down the enemy. Sabin was parted from the Returners. He meets Shadow and know that he can go to Narsh by passing through Doma, and Doma is under attack by Empire. Going to Imperial camp, Sabin and Shadow hear that Kefka plans to oust General Leo and take command of army. Soldiers don't trust Kefka, but respect Leo. Empire is assaulting Doma Castle. Cyan A noble warrior of King of Doma leads the defense troop and defeats captain of enemies. The Empire retreats. Sabin and Shadow go to Imperial camp and see Soldier reports to Leo about Doma's strike back. Leo restrains Empire's attack, worrying about his men's lives. Then he receives letter from Emperor calling him back to castle. Kefka plans to poisoning water after Leo was gone, and he wants the soldiers to assault Doma soon. His subordinate warns him that there are some Empire soldiers imprisoned in Doma Castle and will be affected by poison, but Kefka ignores them. Sabin and Shadow fight to stop Kefka, defeated Kefka, and he keeps running away. Then he lets soldiers attack Sabin and Shadow. Kefka poisons the water, but Cyan notices the abnormal water. He goes to warn the king, but the king's dead. Cyan orders the soldiers to find survivors. Cyan finds his wife and child are died, so he goes to Imperial camp to revenge Empire's soldiers. Sabin and Shadow also go to join the battle. Sabin and Cyan seize Empire's Magitek and make their way out of the camp. The returners go to Barren Falls by phantom train. Shadow leaves the returners. After jump from the cliff, the returners finds Gao, a youth draped in monster hides. He runs away. After gave Gao food during battle, he asks more and plays with Sabin. He joins the returners to go to Crescent Mountain. Then the returners heads to Narsh by sailing. Meanwhile, Locke tried to stop Imperial troops in South Figaro, but now he needs to escape. He disguises himself and finds the way to Narsh. During the journey, Locke finds Empire's female general named Seals has been imprisoned as a traitor. Locke goes to rescue her and escape through South Figaro Cave. Terra, Edgar, and Bainin arrive to Narsh by escaping down the Lethe River, but soldiers block the gate, so they enter the town through Narsh mines. The returners meets Arvis. He says that he tried to convince townspeople to join returners, but it's useless. Townspeople still doubt about Esper. Bainin wants Terra to communicate with Esper to approach townspeople. Finally, 3 groups have arrived to Narsh, and battle is about to begin. Bainin talks to Elder of Narsh. Elder wants to remain neutral in battle between returners and Empire, but Emperor Gestahl is seeking more Magitek power with war. The War of Magi in legend may be repeated again. Locke brings Seals, General of Empire, to be a witness that Emperor Gestahl is targeting Narsh. Cyan wants to kill her, but Locke and Edgar stop him. Kefka leads the troop to Narsh, ignoring the neutral status. His purpose is to retrieve Esper. During the journey to the cliff where Esper was kept, everyone doesn't trust Seals. Edgar tells Seals that Locke helps women because he has complicated past. Seals answers Terra's question about her magic. It was artificially infused into her since she was young. She was raised as Imperial Knight, but she ignores the question of love. The returners blocks Empire's troop on the cliff and defeats Kefka. Terra communicates with frozen Esper, then she is transformed. She flies away to the sky. The returners is parted into 2 groups. One guards against Empire's attack, another follows Terra to Figaro, shuttling Figaro Castle. The returners goes to Kolingen and meets Rachel, Locke's lover, who has been sleeping because of herbal curing of the old man. Locke is searching for a legendary item to call her spirit back. That's why he becomes treasure hunter. Seals feels sad for Locke. The returners finds Terra in Esper form at Zozo. Rama, the Esper, appears and says Terra's power is overwhelming her, so she cannot control herself. Rama says Espers and humans once lived together until the War of Magi happened. That time, Espers fought humans who had been infused with magical powers extracted from other Espers. After the war, Espers exiled themselves to another realm, concerning that humans will target their power again. 20 years ago, humans who knew of Espers entered to that hidden realm and began hunting. Espers erected a massive gate and forced humans out. Some of Espers are still held in the Empire's Magitek research facility. Rama is a survivor and disguises himself in human form to live in this world. He sensed Terra, who had lost control, so he called her here. Rama tells the returners to find his friend in Gestahlian's Magitek research facility. He may be able to help Terra. Rama once abandoned his friends and barely escaped there. Now he will turn himself into Magicite. Then he and his companions can lend the returners their power. Gestahlian's method to drain an Esper's power is wrong. Only when Esper becomes Magicite, they can be full potential, but Magicite appears when Esper died. The returners is parted again. One needs to beef up defenses in Narsh, and one will infiltrate to Empire's research facility. The returners goes to Auser's mansion in Jydor and meets Impresario, who misunderstands Seals as Maria. Impresario is director of troupe who performs at Opera House. He looks worried when received letter about kidnapping Maria on stage from Setzer, a gambling vagabond and owner of Blackjack, the airship. The returners needs that airship to fly to the Empire. Gets kidnapped by Setzer on stage of opera performing. Then she let the returners infiltrate into Setzer's airship. The returners wins Setzer on coin flipped, so he helps them go to the Empire. The returners sneaks into research facility successfully and finds Kefka is disposing Espers when they are dried of power. Following them, the returners fights with Ifrit. Ifrit and Shiva say there are many of Espers captured here. Espers are siblings born with a different elemental power. He and Shiva turn into Magicite and lend the returners power. When the returners switches off the device, Professor Sid appears. He just found secret of Magicite. Then Kefka interrupts. He says Seals is traitor. Seals refuses. She uses magic to protect her friends. Then facility blasts because of energy flux reversed. Sid brings the returners out of facility. He feels guilt and wants to talk to Gestahlian about stopping the war. Kefka's chasing the returners, but Sid helps the returners escape by trolley. After went out of facility, Kefka switches on to let the cranes out of facility to attack Setzer's airship. The returners defeats them. Going back to Zozo, Magicite reacts to Terra. She recalls her past. Madeline was human who came to Esper's world and fell in love with Maduin, the Esper. They had a child named Terra. Terra was raised in Esper's world for 2 years until Gestahlian arrived. Elder of Espers created magical seal on the gate between two worlds and cast away humans. Meanwhile, Espers were blaming Madeline on humans' assault this time, so she ran away. Maduin followed her and the both was cast out to human world together with Gestahlian. Gestahlian adopted Terra since then. Terra returns to her human form with help of her father's Magicite. She can control her power now. The returners discusses about Magitek and artificial magic like Seals S were expensed from those Espers who were cast out of Esper's world that day. They have to go checking situation in Narsh. Banin says people of Narsh decide to fight the Empire, but their troop is not strong enough. They plan to open the sealed gate and let Espers attack Empire while returners will be launching an invasion from the north. But they need to build bond of trust with Espers through Terra. Terra opens the gate and many of Espers come out to human world. They fiercely head to the capital, Vector. The returners' airship, Blackjack, is attacked by Espers. The returners finds other way to Vector and sees it's burning. Terra learns from Sid and Gestahlian that Espers came to save their friends, but no one alive, so they ravaged the city. Gestahlian wants to stop them before the world collapsed and ask the returners to join dinner. Gestahlian says Kefka was imprisoned due to poisoning against Doma. Seals wasn't traitor. She disagreed with Lunacy War, so she sided with returners. And now Gestahlian wants peace. He asks the returners to help stopping Rage Espers. Leo prepares the ship to Crescent Island. During journey, Locke hears Leo and Terra's talking about their feeling. Locke sees Seals is acting strange. After arrive to island, the returners splits into two groups. One searches for Espers, another stays in Empire. The returners meet Strago, a researcher of monsters' secret and realm. A painter, Strago asks the returners to help Realm, his granddaughter. Realm was on fire and burnt neighbor's house. Strago uses ice magic to extinguish the fire. Due to circumstance, the townspeople use magic to help against their forbid dance. Then the returners goes inside the house to save Realm. The returners finds Realm together with Interceptor, Shadow's dog, then they are unconscious. Shadow appears and rescues them. Strago admits that Thamasa is village of Magi. Humans had ever used magicite to acquire magical power. The one who gained ability had become the Magi. After War of Magi, Espers fled to Espers' world, but Magi was executed and hunted down by ordinary humans due to a fear of war repeated. Survivors of Magi, their ancestors took shelter here, but their power is weak due to thin bloodline. The returners ask Strago to join and search for Espers together. Going to Espers' cave, the returners find statue of warring Triad. They are legendary gods who created magic and Espers. They tired of fighting, so they turn themselves into stone and rest in eternal slumber in Esper world. Power of magic emitted from statue draws other Espers and monsters here. The returners finds Yura, young Esper from Esper's world. He says Espers wanted to save their friends who's been turned to magicite. So they entered to humans' world, but they lost control of power as soon as stepped in. He regrets to attack innocent people. Locke asks him to go to Empire to make peace and Yura agrees. Yura meets Leo at Thamasa to negotiate peace with Empire. But Kefka leads Magitek troop to attack everyone in Thamasa. He brings magicite mother load to turn Espers into magicites. Leo defeats Kefka, but Kefka disguises himself as Gestahlian and kills Leo. The gate to Esper's world is broken. Espers invade to humans' world and heads to attack Kefka. Kefka turns them into magicites. Leo is dead and Shadow gets hurt. Banin, Sabin, Cyan and Edgar comes to meet the returners. They were barely escaped the trap in Empire with Edgar's help. The returners returns to airship. Setzer says Imperials were heading for the sealed gate. They target warring Triad. Then the Earth split. Gestahlian and Kefka reach to warring Triad. Strago says if one of the three statues is moved out of alignment, warring Triad's power will be imbalanced and destroy the world. The airship is attacked by Imperial Air Force and the returners falls from airship. The returners finds Gestahlian is receiving power of warring Triad. The power crashes against the returners accepted Seals. Kefka tells Seals to kill the returners, and she will be forgiven for her treachery. But Seals stabs Kefka. Kefka despairs and wants power of God, so he tries to revive warring Triad. Gestahlian disagrees and attacks Kefka with magic, but it's useless because by standing at center of warring Triad, Kefka absorbed magic power from Gestahlian and warring Triad. Kefka kills Gestahlian. He moves the statues. Shadow appears and helps the returners escape. Kefka's body is struck between the statues, but his soul escaped. Shadow and the returners survives. The power from statues flies away and makes the world torn apart. Disaster is cast upon the earth. 1 year later, Seals wakes up. Sid has taken care of her all along. This island is only part of the world that's above water. Others' whereabout is unknown. Sid builds the raft for Seals. Seals journeys to gather her friends. She finds Sabin at Sen. He is helping people who is in trouble because of the disaster. Edgar is in Nikia. By sneaking in his ship, the returners finds Figaro Castle. The returners find Setzer in Kolingen and visit Daryl's tomb. Daryl is Setzer's rival. She and her ship, Falcon, tried to break the record of flying speed against Setzer. Setzer found wreck of Falcon 1 year later. He restored it and hid in Daryl's tomb. Now he and Falcon joins the returners again. The returners find Cyan's letter sent to Lola by Pigeon. When following the Pigeon, the returners find Cyan at MT Zozo. During the battle with monsters in Journey, Gao appears and joins the returners. The returners finds Shadow in Thamasa. Shadow has a nightmare of his past. He left his daughter and went on Journey. The returners finds Terra in Mobilize. She loses her will to fight. She wants to take care of Katarin's family and children who lost their parents because of calamity. When Humbaba attacks, Terra turns into Esper and protects the children. Terra finds the reason to fight. It's love and protecting. So she joins the Returners. The Returners finds Realm's painting possessed by Monster. Monster follows Magicite stone that Owser bought at auction. He asked Realm for painting, and Monster possesses her painting. When defeated Monster, Realm joins the Returners. The Returners find Strago at Cultist's tower. Realm asks him to join the Returners. Going to Phoenix Cave, the Returners finds Locke. He finds legendary treasure that can undo death for Rachel, Magicite of Phoenix, but it's filled with cracks. When used it on Rachel, the Magicite is shattered. Rachel wakes up. She only have a little time before dead, so she thanks Locke for making her happy. Now Locke is free from his past and joins the Returners. The Returners goes to Kefka's tower. The time of last battle with Kefka begins. Seals worries that after destroyed power of warring Triad, all magic power in the world will vanish, and what will happen to Terra? Kefka asks the reason of humans living. The Returners' answer is something worth protecting. Everyone has their own reasons, but Kefka still insists to destroy everything. The Returners fights Kefka. Defeated Kefka, and more statue of God appears. Defeated all, and the last form of Kefka appears. After defeated Kefka, magic power disappears, including Magicites in Terra and Espers. Terra uses her last power to help everyone escape. On the way, her father's Magicite flies away along with other Espers. He says if human part of Terra is strong enough, she will survive. Terra used up her power to guide the airship out. Then Katarin's family and children make her human part strong again. Katarin can give birth to a baby safely. Humans reconstruct the building and broken things that lost in Calamity. Natural is quietly restored. And that wraps up the epic journey of Final Fantasy VI. But the adventure doesn't stop here. Next time, we'll dive into the story of Final Fantasy VII, the most popular JRPG game to date. You don't need hours to learn everything about this masterpieces. Make sure to subscribe to PST channel, Gaming Stories for Life, and stay tuned for more RPG classics. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!